Good morning. This morning I'm reading from Numbers chapter 12, and I want you to think with me this morning, why is it that God used Moses in such a mighty and powerful way? Now, obviously, the reason for that and the right answer for that is because that was God's plan. And that is very true. But it's interesting that the Bible tells us something very important about Moses that made him pliable in God's hands, that made him available to God, that made him ready and willing at the Lord's service. And it's found in Numbers chapter 12. Now, the setting for this is Miriam and Aaron have challenged Moses' leadership, and there's a bit of problem they have with Moses' wife and her ethnicity, and so they basically say, well, is Moses the only one who can speak for God? We can speak for God as well, and they challenge his leadership. And the Bible tells us in verse 3, now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Now, what a statement. What a statement. He was the meekest man on the face of the earth. Now, what is meekness? Well, it's humility. It is the absence of pride. It's the opposite of pride. So Moses did not beat his own drum. Moses did not toot his own horn. Moses was not out for Moses. Moses lived his life for God, and he humbled himself before the Lord. What this means is that Moses was pliable in the hands of God. It means that Moses was available to the use of God. That's what humility is. It means that Moses was teachable. It means that Moses listened. It means that Moses was the kind of man who submitted to the leadership of God. And if there was anything that came between Moses and his relationship with God, it wasn't pride. And as we go on and read, it says in verse 4, and the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out, and the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore, when were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Moses' relationship with God was different. God and Moses spoke mouth to mouth, face to face, and it was different, and God says it was different than he would speak to another or a different prophet. But so verse 7 also tells us this, my servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. I want to submit to you this morning that there's a couple of things that go together, and one of those is meekness or humility and faithfulness to the Lord. I think those two dovetail pretty nicely, and as we consider Scripture, we see that men who humble themselves before the Lord wind up being faithful with the things of the Lord. The Bible tells us in James chapter 4 and verse 6, but he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. And so it is grace, God's unmerited favor that's granted to the humble, that's given to the humble as a gift. So I just want to encourage you this morning. Let's study the life of Moses, and let's just prayerfully think about this. If it's pride that causes God resists pride, well, let's get rid of pride in our life. Let's humble ourselves before the Lord, because when we do, he pours out his grace upon us, and that enables us to be useful in the hands of God. God bless you. I hope that you have a great day.